A group of renowned civil rights attorneys are now representing an Alabama inmate after pictures showing him emaciated and barely able to sit up went viral on social media. The disturbing images of Costello Vaughn sparked outrage, sorrow, and allegations of abuse and neglect inside Alabama's Elmore Correctional Facility. Now, civil rights attorneys Ben Crump, Harry Daniels, and Lee Merritt are working to secure emergency medical treatment and investigate Vaughn's alleged mistreatment and neglect at the hands of correctional officials. Alabama state prisons have a duty to provide the appropriate medical care for Mr. Vaughn while he remains in their custody, said Merritt. Prisoners are entitled to the same basic human decency as all other citizens in our country. We have begun working to ensure Mr. Vaughn receives the care his condition requires while investigating whether or not agents of the state of Alabama violated their duty by allowing his medical condition to spiral. On Monday, the Alabama Department of Corrections provided additional information regarding the care of Vaughn has received, and we went over that in the last video, but I will add this link in the description box so you guys can take a look at their statement if you didn't catch that video. But if you did, you already know what was said. If you didn't, check out the statement and go back to the first video. I'll also have it linked for you guys. Moving forward, according to his legal team, Mr. Vaughn reportedly underwent surgery, as you guys know if you watched the video, back in August, to remove a portion of his intestines at a result of a gunshot wound. Rather than, I guess, rather than, doing whatever they were supposed to do at the hospital, Vaughn's family says he was removed from the hospital and he was placed in the general population at the correctional facility in Elmore on the same day as his surgery. So Vaughn's sister, Cassie Vaughn, shared pictures on her Facebook page, which you can see here, a few of them, showing Vaughn's how he's gaunt and he's sick and he's unable to sit up. His eyes kept rolling back in his head. The images were shared Wednesday night as well on Facebook and received more than 1,100 shares by Thursday. So WRBL's Elizabeth White reached out to the Alabama Department of Corrections early Thursday morning to get a comment via email and phone after being hung up on by ADOC and disconnected by Elmore Correction. Both agencies stopped answering their phones, so I guess they're over it, right? Thursday night, Newsbreak received an email statement from the Department of Corrections. A name was not given for the person to attribute the statement to. But what they said was the Alabama Department of Corrections understands there is a concern about the welfare of inmate Costello DeMarcus Vaughn. He is assigned to Elmore Correctional Facility, CF, but is currently housed at Staten Medical Observation Unit. The ADOC's Office of Health Services has fully investigated his situation from a clinical perspective, and he has been offered all necessary treatment for his condition. Also, he has been in touch with the family to update them on his situation. Vaughn is serving a 25-year sentence for burglary out of Mobile County. So WRBL asked for a date of when Vaughn was transferred, but they didn't receive an answer. His attorneys say due to inadequate facilities, I guess. They also allege abuse, medical neglect, and, many other things, that Vaughn's condition deteriorated really, really fast because of all these things. But they say correctional officials rebuffed pleas for help and only transferred Vaughn to Stratton Correctional Facility after dramatic photos of Vaughn showed up on the internet of his weight loss, and it looked like his surgery scar was infected, because of the staples that we talked about in the last video. So he has the surgical scars, which on the photos look really horrible. All of that stuff went viral on social media like we talked about before, and it prompted a national outcry. Unfortunately, attorneys argue that the conditions at Stratton are no better than at Elmore. So, we question, is this man really getting the care that he needs? We don't know. Anyway, Vaughn's family says that on social media they are not asking for him to be released. They just want him to be taken care of, and they want him to have proper medical attention, the proper medical attention that he needs. The family says that their calls to request for information are being ignored by Elmore County Correctional Facility, and claims that his sister was removed from the list as an approved visitor after the pictures were posted. But WRBL says that they will continue to keep us updated, and as they do, I will look for more articles within Newsbreak, WRBL, and so forth, to try to keep you guys updated. Thanks for asking about this young man. I saw the images before I started reporting about this, but I didn't really know what it was about. And when I found out it was from my home state, it was really baffled. I was just like, I've never heard of this before, but it just seems to me, and I'm no medical expert, but it just seems to me that, he really looks like he's in a bad way, and it looks like after surgery, he wasn't eating properly, and they probably didn't really care. I mean, it's kind of like if you're an inmate, you don't really care. But I do know from experience that my biological father was sent home after they found out that he was terminally ill. But even before they found out he was terminally ill, he was sick enough to where they didn't want to take care of him. Now, outside of knowing what he did, we'll talk about that in a different video. His sentence was way longer than this young man's, and they didn't care. They went ahead and sent him home because they didn't want to pay for the medical expenses, and if he did pass away, they didn't want to pay for his burial or anything. So rather than taking those expenses, they sent him home. So I don't know if this is a possibility, for this young man, but they may not want the heat, and they may not want the expenses, and this young man may be sent home. But we don't know. We just don't know. And it depends on what correctional facility it is, because some of them just don't care, and some of them don't want to. They don't want to pay, for prisoners and their medical conditions. They don't want to pay for their health. With our situation, it was cancer. So after they found out the worst of the worst, then it was like, what? We don't think he's going to get better. This thing is probably not going to turn around. He had some other health issues before they even found out about the possibility of cancer, and they just didn't want to pay, and they meant they weren't going to, and so they sent him home. So we don't know what really is going on, but he needs proper medical attention, this young man, so that they can find out if it is infected, where he had the surgery, where he had the staples, if something else is going on inside of his body, if the surgery was even done properly. I mean, there's so many things that could be going wrong, and we just don't know. So for those of you who care, keep praying for this young man, keep praying for the friends and family, because we know they're going to need it. Pray for, everybody involved, the civil rights attorneys and everybody, because even though this young man may be a criminal, he's still a human. Thank you guys for listening, and I will be in touch soon. Bye for now.
Come on in, grab a seat, sip your tea, get cozy. It's time to go in with your girl locked in. Come on in, grab a seat, sip your tea, get cozy. It's time